Coming to you from the secret location of the shield generator on Endor, this is Final Death Star. Well, I've done a few videos recently in the last couple weeks over the Mandalorian Season 2 and all the rumors, the casting rumors, and all the actors and actresses that seem to be adding on to this show almost on a weekly basis. My thinking is that they're going to use Mandalorian as kind of a jumping off point, if you would. A light speed skipping. Oh, God, no, I'm not feeling that. It's jumping off point to start other shows, spin-offs, I guess I would say. Kind of like what Solo was intended to be. And then they introduced Darth Maul, and they were going to have a Lando spinoff. It didn't really work out because Solo wasn't done that well and didn't do well in the box office. Hashtag Solo lost money. So I think that's what they're trying to do here. They're going to use this as a way to have other shows kind of jump off into their own spinoffs. And the article I have today might be just the case. This is coming from Screen Rant. And Star Wars Disney reportedly casting live-action Ezra to post-Rebels show. So Ezra Bridger, the main character, I would say, from the show Rebels, got lost in space. Him and Grand Admiral Thrawn, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the end of Rebels yet, but they zip off in their space whale-attached starship into the unknown regions. You know, you don't really know where they're going, other than they don't really have a course plotted. It's just wherever the space whales wanted to take them, that's where they went. So love or hate the space whales, they were at their mercy. And that's the last time we see him. Of course, there's the final scene where Sabine and Ahsoka shows up, and they say, okay, it's time for us now to go after Ezra and bring him back. So now we've got this rumor. And it's just a rumor, so this is not confirmation. This is not Lucasfilm confirming anything. This is just rumors that are circulating, so it might not be true, so keep that in mind. But there's an unnamed Disney Plus series that stars Ezra Bridger. Casting for a live-action Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels has reportedly begun. Over the last several weeks, Star Wars appears to be transitioning some of its animated characters to live action, given reports of Rosario Dawson being cast as the live-action Ahsoka Tano and Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan. These both characters are expected to appear in The Mandalorian Season 2, set to debut this October on Disney+. Hopefully that date still stands. If this new information comes to fruition, Ezra will eventually join them on the streaming service, albeit potentially in a different series. Debuting in 2014 on Disney XD, Rebels, created by Dave Filoni, featured an all-new cast of characters, focusing primarily on a small band of freedom fighters known as the Ghost Crew, who operate in and around Lothal. The team includes Hera, Kanan, Sabine, Zeb, Chopper, and Ezra, and they fight the Galactic Empire in their own small way, ultimately helping with the rebellion's birth. And as good as Clone Wars was, Rebels had its moments where it was done really well. It also had moments that I thought were a little too kid-oriented, but it is what it is. There were good things about Rebels, and some of that was mostly, in my opinion, bringing back Darth Maul and having him and Ezra. They're kind of almost like a dark apprentice sort of dark master sort of tale that they were kind of building there. And Ahsoka coming back in, her fight with, Vader, which was, I think, the end of Season 2, I believe that was, which was great. They had some nice moments. I thought it got a little more adult and mature as it went on. So I don't really know about a show for Ezra. But There seem to be mining all of everything they can from Rebels, because we have now Sabine's rumored to be in the show. Well, she's rumored to be in the show. I think she might be Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks might be playing Sabine. Ahsoka's coming into it now. We don't know how far. They all obviously left it open with Kanan and Hera having a child. So could that be part of this at some point? Are they going to bring the child in? That kid is the kid force sensitive? I think at the end I think you do see the kid is Force sensitive. I don't exactly remember in the finale of Rebels, but they have a kid that you would assume would be Force sensitive. So there's a lot they could go with, but this kind of stuff, when you start throwing too much into the mix here, it starts kind of taking away from the point of Luke. Why weren't these characters involved in any way? It's tough. Obviously, back then they weren't created, so you couldn't have had them involved. I thought they did a good job with Ahsoka kind of writing around the fact that she wasn't around during the prequel era, why she wasn't in Revenge of the Sith, because they tied the finale of Clone Wars now into Revenge of the Sith, so you kind of see she is around, just not what we were seeing on screen in the movie. They did a decent job of it, but I don't know. It's tricky though when you get to now Ezra's there and Ahsoka's there, and Luke was supposed to be the only one. Anyway, moving along here. The show ended after 4 seasons with some lingering questions regarding the final fate of Ezra, who stayed with Grand Admiral Thrawn as the Purgle, I forget the name of that ship, or how you pronounce it, jumped to hyperspace with the villain's ship. Oh, that's the space whales. Since then, there's no clue as to what happened to the young Jedi, although Filoni has since confirmed that both Ezra and Thrawn survived. So if they're bringing Ezra back, does that mean we're getting Thrawn in a live action as well? It's possible. Now, fans may finally learn what happened to Ezra after his disappearance at the end of Rebels, as a new report from the Illuminati, I see what you're doing there, claims Lucasfilm is looking to cast a live-action version of the character. According to the report, this will be one for the upcoming Disney Plus show, not The Mandalorian. Based on the casting description, the studio is looking for a male actor between ages 30 and 40. Lucasfilm is also specifically looking for actors of Asian descent, but is open to seeing auditions from Indian, Latino, and Middle Eastern performers. Interesting. I don't think Ezra looks Asian to me. I always thought the name Ezra is it's from the Bible, so I would think he'd be more Jewish, Middle Eastern. It's kind of more of how he looks there. To me, I don't see Asian. I see more Asian inspired with Sabine, but yeah, I don't know. I guess you could do. I'm not sure. I guess you could do Asian or Latino, but I would think Middle Eastern or Israeli or Jewish would be more in line, especially given his name, Ezra. But it's worth noting that since this isn't official news from Lucasfilm, it's best to treat it with a healthy dose of salt. That said, it's still fun to speculate what this rumored casting call could mean for the future of the character. Given the age range provided for the interested actors, the Unknown Project, which is a live-action Ezra, would be set after the events of Return of the Jedi, be in the Mandalorian time period. Yes, of course, we know this. The Mandalorian takes place 5 years following the fall of the Empire, while the characters may not pop up in the Jon Favreau created show. And this new information might be an indication that Star Wars is keen to keep exploring this specific time period. Rumor has it that an Ahsoka series is also coming to Disney Plus, which could very well be the show to debut a live-action Ezra. Otherwise, the casting might be something entirely unknown at this point. While Filoni recently confirmed that there won't be a Star Wars Rebels Season 5, he did say the stories of the remaining Ghost crew can continue via other venues. This rumored Ezra live-action casting might be for this spin-off tackling the lives he saves following the sacrifice at the end of Star Wars Rebels. So that's basically the article. I will post it down below so you can check it out. It seems like they are definitely trying to continue the Rebels storyline through Mandalorian and maybe now their own spinoff. Ahsoka's coming back. We know this. She's going to be in Mandalorian Season 2. Will she be in just one episode? Is it going to be more than that? It's undetermined. I think having too much of her, if they're going to give her own spinoff show, I would just tease her, give her an episode or so, and then, give her a spinoff, because she would take the focus away from The Mandalorian, I think. And how do you fit The Mandalorian into all this? It becomes kind of tricky. Is she going to meet Luke? Where's Luke? How would Luke not have felt her around? How would Luke not have felt Ezra around? Ezra's in the unknown regions, so, that's one thing. But we also know Luke went to the unknown regions at some point with Ben Solo. I think it's later on down the line. But who knows? He was out looking for artifacts of Jedi the first Jedi temples and Sith artifacts. He was trying to collect to find as much as he could out. So would that have taken him multiple times to the unknown regions? You know, is he going to run into Ahsoka, Ezra? What does that all mean? Where are they in the sequel trilogy? There's a lot of stuff that they'd have to deal with here. But they do have 30 years, you know, to try to deal with it. But the problem is, no matter what, all roads, unless they're going to somehow retcon everything, lead to The Last Jedi. And that's still the problem that Lucasfilm has. That has been the problem. That will always be the problem unless they find some way to just say, okay, it never happened. We're retconning it all. But you know, at this point, unless they use a world between worlds kind of time travel thing, I don't know how that'd be possible to do so. But nevertheless, we might have an Ezra series coming. What do you think? Would you be excited? Is Ezra a character that has enough of a fan base to want to see it? Ahsoka, yeah, I can see that. You know, Ahsoka's one of the most popular characters in Star Wars, and I can see a lot of people wanting to see. I mean, I want to see an Ahsoka live action series. So, but Ezra, you know, I don't know. I think he's better if you include him. Somehow you have to deal with his story because he is lost with Thrawn. You know, Thrawn would be cool to see live action. But yeah, how do you sort of tie that in and make it relevant? I think it'd be better as just like a side story attached to another show, like the Ahsoka show. You could have her dealing with Ezra, her and Sabine Fina. You know, have him as like a character, but I don't know if he's really spin-off material for his own show. So, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching the video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up and share it, and subscribe if you have not. A lot of things cost a lot of money these days, but that doesn't cost you anything. You just click the button. It's absolutely free. No charge to you. So hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Till next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.